Bring her here. Subscribe so you never miss an upload.
This video is brought to you by Gloomer Games Mystic Days, the Caldwell edition. The Kickstarter includes 4 hardbound books: Monsters and Mayhem, Magic and Treasure, Player's Book, and Adventure Guide. OSR style, 6 classic stats, no character classes, you build the character you want, no initiative to slow things down, no OP characters, and death is always on the table. You roll to cast, failure could lead to an explosive catastrophe, and every weapon is unique. Polearms get the place they deserve with every weapon having a reach modifier, and monsters are bestial and not humanized. With fantastic cover art by Clyde Caldwell, this is old school gaming the way you remember. Links below. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. Professor Dungeon Master here with a quick painting tutorial. I'm going to show you how to slap chop this miniature. If you're new to painting and don't know what slap chop is, you've come to the right place. I'm no Sarastro or Zumiketo. They have fantastic painting channels. What I can do is show you how to get your model table ready in 15 minutes, even if you have no painting experience. Special thanks to the miniature hobbyist whose video inspired this one. I always cite my sources. He pretty much uses the same paint, so I'll link up his video to this one so you compare our results. This is the model I'll be working with, the Butcher of Ruin from Creature Caster Studios. They're a new company and I discovered them at Gen Con, and they do really cool resin minis. This is an H.R. Geiger inspired looking creature. Super cool stuff, including their own paint line, but I'll be using Army Painter speed paints. I used the starter set pictured here. Here are the paints I use: Crusader Skin, Hardened Leather, Pallid Bone, and Gravelord Gray. These come with the starter set. Plus, I use Rigor Mortis, which I borrowed from my buddy Tom. No, this is not a paid video. I did not receive remuneration from Creature Caster or Army Painter. I just like their stuff. So this is the model. It's high-end mold-poured resin. It gives you a lot of resolution and it takes paint very well. I smoothed over the gaps with green stuff and let it harden overnight. After removing the mold lines, I prime them with Army Painter Flat Black. Here's the front and the back. Next, I dry brush the model with Reaper Misty Gray. It's a very light gray. Any light gray will do. I should have probably hit it again with Reaper Linen White to brighten up the high points, but I was in a hurry. I was in such a hurry I missed the obvious mold line on the left arm. So I just removed it quickly with an X-Acto knife and repainted the area in black and dry brushed it again. The great thing about this material is it takes paint really well, so I don't expect any chipping. And I left that mistake in because I'm not perfect and I want to show how everyone makes mistakes, and most of them are no big deal. After it's dry, about 15 minutes, I just lathered on the Crusader Skin on all the exposed flesh. And here you can see I hit the chest, the head, the triceps, the front of his arm, and his big meaty hands. I don't use a fancy brush. This is a number 8 Hobby Lobby standard round brush, but I am careful to stay within the lines because when you're painting with paint this thin, you can't go over it and do it again. There are interesting skin features, including skulls bursting out of the chest and this apron that seems to be separate from the skin, but at some point has skin growing over it. And there are pustules which blur the boundary between the apron and skin. So I chose to paint these pink as well as the triceps of the arm. So that's what it looks like. Now for the hardened leather. I use it on the apron and the weapon handles. And in about 10 minutes, the entire miniature was done. These are the actual colors I used. The cleaver is Gravelord Gray, Crusader Flesh. The heads and nails are Rigor Mortis. Rope and teeth, Pallid Bone. Apron, Hardened Leather. Chains, Gravelord Gray. And the skulls, Pallid Bone. And that's it. Those are pretty much the 5 colors I used, and I was done in about 10-15 minutes. But there's still a few highlights to do. I'm going to use, I think it's scale colored heavy metal, and I'm just going to come in and touch the top of these chains. You can see I'm just going to brush the top of them. You don't have to paint the entire chain link. You just touch the top to give it a little shine. Here's before the highlighting of the chains and the weapons. Here's after. Subtle, but you could see a difference. I also washed those pustules with the red speed paint and dotted the center of each with a watery linen white to put a head on that pustule. Ew, gross. and used Game Color Gory Red for the blood on the cleaver. That's my go-to brand for blood effects. But 98% of this model was done with speed paints in just 15 minutes. Anyone can do it. It's an especially great technique if you're working with kids, because one of the toughest things with kids is teaching them how to thin the paints, but speed paints do this for you, and you get decent results quickly, which is always encouraging for new painters. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Share and leave your own tips in the comments below. Also below, you'll find links to Dungeon Craft on Facebook and Patreon, as well as my game Deathbringer on drive-thru. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back soon. May all your rolls be 20s.